The Puget Sound region is home to over 1,400 miles of dynamic coastline. The natural process of erosion is a vital part of the coastal network. But when it overlaps with populated areas, slope stability can become an issue. One area affected by erosion is Schuster Slope, located along Commencement Bay. A rising concern for this area prompted the creation of the Schuster Slope Landscape Management Plan.
The landscape management plan was needed because environmental services wanted to do on-the-ground improvements to the slope, like plant evergreen trees and vegetation. Because Schuster Slope is a regulated critical area, it has wetlands and steep slopes on it, then we had to have a required permitted landscape management plan.
Voices and perspectives from different groups came together to form a multifaceted plan to manage vegetation and increase long-term slope stability.
The plan was formed based on sound science, site data, and of course shaped by regulatory requirements. But the plan really came together with city staff, Metro Parks Tacoma, and a group of expert consultants, as well as a really dedicated community group.
On average, 5 landslides happen on the slope each year, taking a bite out of the hillside and jeopardizing buildings and roadways. This plan is working to reduce this risk and has designated the southernmost portion of the slope as the highest priority.
The work began in 2014 when our crews traversed all 31 acres of the site. For 3 months, removing aggressive vines from trees. The first revegetation began in winter 2015 when we planted just under 2 acres and as well installed erosion control techniques.
An erosion control blanket was placed along the hillside to protect the soil, and invasive species removal and planting began. A partnership between the city and the Washington Conservation Corps is making this work possible.
Partnership between the City of Tacoma and the Department of Ecology's WCC has been a tremendous success for the city in meeting our mitigation and restoration requirements around Commencement Bay for over 10 years, and now in implementing the first management plan in the city's open space. The WCC members get a full-time job doing environmental field work, and the city meets its obligations and goals to improve stormwater.
The slope provided some distinct challenges for work crews to negotiate.
So some of the unique challenges we had here on the Schuster Slope is just the angle of the slope itself. Our crews were roped up throughout the wintertime, and they had to cable and rig all their equipment and supplies down to them from the very top, or from the bottom in such cases.
Components of the plan were focused on a number of factors and then divided into 9 manageable areas throughout the Schuster Slope open space.
So the main components of the plan are to remove invasives, plant evergreen trees and shrubs, and improve the slope stability, protect public safety and infrastructure. Obviously we can't, attack all 31 acres at one time. So we divided it, prioritized it into manageable chunks, about 3 acres apiece.
A new section will be tackled every other year. Intensive monitoring and maintenance will be required after each section is completed to gauge the success of management activities and to make corrections as needed.
The work that's planned next is the crews will be installing a slow-release watering gel throughout the summer to help the trees survive the dry season, and then we'll be tackling the next 3-acre chunk, revegetating the slopes and installing best management practices for erosion control.
Restoration activities on the slope are planned over the next 20 years.
It's a large area and restoration takes time. Certainly when you have 31 acres that's been in neglect, there's lots to do.
With regular updates to incorporate the best available science and management methods, this plan is helping to make the Schuster Slope a safe and sustainable community asset.